Hey everybody, welcome back to the Grand Tactician, the Civil War, the CSA campaign. This is episode number 15, and we are going to take a look at some army reorganization, the situation out west, the Western Stagnation as I'm calling it, the Kansas plan, take a look back east, and Price's Evansville campaign comes to a start. That and much more on the latest episode of Grand Tactician, the Civil War. So the stagnant Western theater. I finally got Zollenkoffer his portrait like that. Very nice. Hood's Monster Corps. A.S. Johnston's army balloons to 52,000 men. After Piercebeard builds this supply depot, I think he'll march on Evansville. And that way he can threaten the rear, the Union rear at Cairo, which is located at Pinckneyville and basically the Ohio River. Now, I did notice, I wonder, earlier, yep, there's still the Army of the Ohio with 22,000 men. I remember another Army of Northeastern Virginia being formed, and that's why we are starting to, I can't see them now, but that's why we are going to shift our forces back towards Baltimore. Not a lot of movement by the Union forces around Cairo and on this day. I'm going to order Kell Squadron into raiding near Cairo. Kind of disrupt the situation for the Union armies there. About 10 days for Price's Corps to build that depot. We'll be heading into winter here soon, and I don't know if Evansville campaign will be able to start. Union passes Tariffs Act, tariff rates rising. European traders shocked. Now Johnston does find themselves in a bad supply situation. And we can try to build a depot here. You can see the two Union armies marching back north deep into Pennsylvania. I wonder if we did raid, but that would affect support in Maryland. We ordered Johnston to raid. I wonder how much that would improve his situation. Support in Maryland for the Confederates is 93%. All right, so Cumberland is secured into our hands. I think we're actually just going to march back towards Hagerstown. Kell at destination. The Pony Express closes. Transcontinental mail service is over. Telegraph replaces riders. Financial failure. Only 35,000 letters delivered. Cycle Lee is at destination. Actually, let's send Blanchard to Mexico, Missouri, and to take that. Looking at Hood's Corps, Hood's Corps could probably be split up into another corps. We got volunteers from Delaware. I'm gonna stay away from the blue trousers. We don't have quite enough to do a full brigade. Assign John Jones. John Jones Brigade. We got Wilcox Brigade. Kemper's Artillery. Why wasn't there a whole division? Let's see, Alfred Vaughn. He's only a volunteer. He has some decent stars to start with. So we're adding another division to Johnston's Corps. Brings him up to about 14,000. So we have two strong corps now in the Army of Northern Virginia. And now we see the intention of the Army of Ohio is to take West Virginia. Looks like we're going to have to get Porterfield out of there. Things in the East have looking very promising as Beauregard and Lee are talking about a strike towards Baltimore and maybe even the siege of Washington, D.C. before Christmas. They might be getting a little bit ahead of themselves, but they have a good supply network through the Shenandoah Valley through Harper's Ferry and into Frederick, Maryland. Lee is talking with Beauregard and meeting with them and saying that he would prefer a strike on Baltimore rather than wintering in Frederick, where the Federals will be able to regroup and maybe strike down through Alexandria. Johnston is, although victorious at Cumberland, is suffering from supply shortages as the supply line through Cumberland is a little bit dicey, as Johnston is falling back towards Hagerstown to rest and resupply. The Army of Northeastern Virginia, with some 21,000 men, poised to either strike due south. We have a small contingent under Magruder, which we may actually recruit some men there as a stalling force if the Army of Northeastern Virginia happens to strike south. But I don't see that happening because we pose too much of a threat to Washington, D.C. Now, that said, there is an Army of Ohio of about 20,000 men that have taken the opportunity to strike in West Virginia. We will gladly retreat back through the mountains of the Appalachia to buy some time, as we would much rather be victorious in Maryland, and we will cede territory in West Virginia. In the Western Theater, we still are kind of in a stale holding situation, as our Army of the West under Albert Sidney Johnston has recovered and regrouped from their loss at Cairo Ferry. We can kind of get information on the Union Department of the West, showing some 24,000 strength there, and Department of Ohio of almost 30,000. So there's a lot of troops in Illinois ready to strike out. I wonder if they may send one army into Missouri, which is lightly defended now. That said, if they do split their forces, we can strike back to Evansville. Now, right now, Albert Sidney Johnston is contemplating a plan with Price to strike through the northern part of Kentucky to the Ohio and towards the Indiana border at Evansville, secure Evansville, and then maybe strike towards Pinckneyville to maybe cut off the Union armies there, where Hood's massive corps can either strike north through Paducah or straight towards Cairo itself. So we're kind of waiting here. We'll take advantage of the Union's army's non-movement and possibly strike north. Now, one thing that would be surprising, and I don't see happening, is if the Union itself would just strike Hood at a combined effort and strike Hood at Columbus, Kentucky. I think our 38,000 would be able to fight off the combined armies, so that would bring their strength up to about, so it'd be about 50,000 versus our 38,000 if they so choose that. Yeah, over 50,000 men. While that is going on, I did have the idea, looking at our support, we actually hold 100% support in Union-occupied Kansas. So what I would like to do is create a cavalry detachment and maybe a brigade of infantry to go in and secure Kansas. So a small force of cavalry that can later be used to maybe attach itself as a cavalry corps to the Western Department. So we actually might promote Zollicoffer and give him an actual army command and attach a cavalry corps to that. Now they'll be out. The cavalry corps will operate independently, but they'll be officially assigned to the Army of Missouri. So I was trying to transfer Zollicoffer to a new army, or the St. Louis division, but you got to create the army first. So this is where I kind of made a mistake. All right, so it automatically created the Army of Trans-Mississippi, which is fine. Well, I guess we'll assign the disgraced George Stewart to head up this corps. Actually, yeah, that's will probably become the Army of Missouri. Will probably become. Actually, hold up. So we do. I wanted to assign the a Zollenkoffer to the Army of Trans-Mississippi, and then the St. Louis Division will be a part of the Trans-Mississippi. Now we will add a new group. So we'll assign Lloyd Tillman as the Cavalry Corps commander. Looks like we'll recruit some Tennessee men. See, Texas Volunteers, I think we might be able to get a horse artillery battalion out of it. Oh, we got 1,700 volunteers from the Indian Territory, so we can recruit a small cavalry brigade out of there. They automatically assign General Stan Waite. Trying to assign these cavalry commanders. Bushrod Farnsworth. They're all lower ranking. A Lieutenant Fitzhugh. And then we'll attach an infantry brigade. Actually, we're going to detach them from Tillman and just attach them to Zollenkoffer. There you go. Okay, so figured out two things there. So if I just want to assign a independent divisional command, cars directly under Zollenkoffer now. Our boy DeRosey back. I think that's sufficient for what our needs are right now. And they won't be ready until the winter time anyway, so we'll let them recruit, and then maybe we'll have a Kansas winter campaign under Tillman, and Carr will follow up just to secure the town. So the goal is to take over by force Kansas and put her into the Confederacy. So Zollenkoffer, we have a true Army of the Trans-Mississippi now. So his main task will be to defend Missouri, consolidate his gains in that state, and also to send Tillman into Kansas. Oh, wow. So he finds himself headquartered in Texas. Let's bring him up to Rolla. So Maxie Gregg takes over Zollenkoffer's old command. Blanchard's still in command of the St. Louis Division. So we should probably rename that Army of Missouri to the Missouri Corps. Alright, so Price is building a supply depot at Hopkinsville. After that's done in 5 days, he's going to strike out towards Evansville. Joe Johnson suffering slow movement due to low readiness. Lee is at Frederick now. Magruder at destination. Actually, I think we do want to bolster Magruder's force a little bit. The Hampton Division. Johnson's suffering from low supply. But once he gets back to Hagerstown, he should be okay. Army of Northeastern Virginia looks like they're on the march. So if you look at some of these army stances, you could order Lee's army to guard, which orders the unit to perform patrols along its lines of communications and to guard the supply trains against enemy raids. During battles, part of the cavalry is used to stop routed men behind the battle line, which reduces desertion. Guarding cavalry will not fight as units, though, in the field battles. So does that mean we lose? use these. We will lose these cavalry brigades. Now, I am toying with the idea of maybe condensing down our cavalry brigades into a full division or an attached corps. Oh, why did that? Oh, okay. Be careful of doing that. It only. Okay, so you can attach contingents directly to the army command. Let's keep an eye on the Army of Northeastern Virginia and see where they're headed. It looks like they're on the march. We could order our units to perform a scout. Convention held in London, Mexico under threat of an invasion. British, Spanish, French to send troops. Napoleon III to conquer Mexico. Monthly economic report. Current rating of BBB minus, which is mediocre. Our debt increased 10,000 K. 10,000. Currently, our liabilities amount to 90,000 K. Our current economic cycle is recovery. The wealth of our population is developing and increasing. Our tax revenues increased 8,000 during the last month. Last month, 8 companies were founded. 3 farms, 1 foundries, 4 ironworks. Total export volume, average corporate production over the last 3 months was 12 billion and a change of 0. Our economy lacks transport ships. Our stocks are full of livestock, wood, and forage. So not great, not completely horrible. All right, so Johnston's supply situation improves. So we recruited another brigade for Magruder's command. Somehow we lost Palmyra. I mean, we gained Mexico, Missouri. Alright, so we'll order the St. Louis division back to Palmyra. I just noticed the condition of the Huntsville is barely afloat. So there's actually 2 Union invasions right now. I know the one in Western Virginia. Where's the other? Okay, I guess this is still considered a Union invasion. Provisional president officially elected Jeff Davis for 6 years. Davis and Stevens without opposition. 54 votes needed. 109 secured. St. Louis division suffering. Oh, why is there such a big delay? Oh, is that because Zollenkoffer's so far away? That's silly. Also, in hindsight, it's probably more the telegraph system in the West that I have failed to build up, causing much of the delays as well. Well, it looks like everyone's taking up winter quarters. So winter quarters actually, I believe, if I did the research or understand it properly, should allow our troops to train quicker. So while we're in winter headquarters right now, let's take a look at our units and see kind of the upgrading. Reboard muskets. Got some Springfields available to us. Actually, the model 1817 is better distance. Is actually a better rifle. Oh, the reboards are a little bit better. So the Springfields are actually inferior. Okay, the Springfield rifle musket is a little bit better than the Springfield musket. So we're kind of keeping Pillow and Ewell as our, I think, our 2 elite divisions in Lee's Corps. So they get first dibs on the best weapons. So why don't we play with the idea of a cavalry corps. So Sibley will get the division. We're gonna add a new group here. Archer will be replaced with Preston. Although Preston wasn't a cavalry commander. Oh, okay. Assign. Okay. I see now. Well, I get, you know, that kind of helps see what I kind of like the assigned filter checked, to be honest. So I can see who's been assigned. All right, well, assign Preston the Corps command. Even though he's not a cavalry leader, he's a veteran. He's got some fame. The division commanders will be cavalry leaders. So Henry H. Sibley. Now I wonder if we should actually make Forrest the division commander. So we'll assign Forrest as the division command for the Cavalry Corps under Preston. Alright, we'll still leave at least one brigade of cavalry per corps attached to each corps. So each corps will have at least one cavalry brigade. I'm going to give Preston his chance. He did nothing wrong. He's done well. Although we will probably give Stuart the division, the 2nd Division command. Abraham Buford. We'll assign him. We've got our own Buford, and we will do one more. Our cavalry horse artillery brigade. How about some Marylanders? We'll do Lieutenant Francis Shoup, who's a artillery man. I wonder if we use the 6-pound. Even though the 6-pounders aren't, they don't have the distance. Kind of want to reserve the 3-inch ordnance rifles for the main, for the infantry divisions. Yeah, they'll have their 6-pounders attached to the cavalry. All right, so the Army of Northern Virginia is swelling up to 40,000, and on paper at least. Not yet 40,000 effectives. Do want to replace. We're going to add a brigade of infantry if we can, if we have enough troops. We might be able to raise a West Virginia brigade. Yeah, we can. That gives 4 brigades to Pillow, and McLaws will take over command of that brigade. One thing I would like to see, I would recommend though, I love the feature to change the colors of your uniforms. I would like though to, after the fact, I would like to change the uniforms like now. Like then I can make them, and then I can make the entire division uniform if I'm mixing and matching. I think we're gonna add another brigade to Ewell's division. Again, if we can. We might not be able. Alabama. Got enough men in Alabama or Delaware. Ooh, I wonder if I can find a political general from Delaware. I mean, it's highly doubtful, and Delaware is not very important to our political needs. Although I will say probably maybe an engineering background. Trappier, the Trappier or Trappier. All right, so that increases the size of. Because we took some of the cavalry brigades from Lee's Corps. We'll replace them with infantry. At least one of your divisions in your corps, though, will have a cavalry brigade. Alright, so we are going to do a winter campaign here with Sterling Price moving into Hartford, Kentucky, securing that, build a depot, and then move on to Evansville. I don't see any opposition in Kentucky right now. The Trent Affair. Confederate diplomats captured. Shots fired at a British ship. British furious over the incident. King Cotton 1 policy selected. Plantations receiving more government support. Doing his Northern Kentucky campaign, or the Evansville campaign, we'll call it. So he's going to construct a depot. He'll take 19 days to finish, and then he'll move out. So hopefully by December, he'll be in Evansville. And that would hopefully cut off a major supply route to the troops the Union troops in Cairo. We still kind of have the Union bottled up there, though. So now again, he could strike into Missouri, but I think he risks his supply lines that way. I don't know. We'll see as things unfold here, going into the deep winter of 61-62. This should do it for episode number 15 as we head into winter quarters, although I have a feeling that things will start heating up here soon. Again, thank you for your time. You have a very good evening. And don't be afraid to hit the like button, subscribe, or leave a comment.